Peace and blessings minus the stressings. May you walk in the divine path for which you were destined. It's your brother and business king Rob, back representing the Mac Global channel, where we discuss music, arts, culture, and commerce, and the things that move the needle in society. Today we want to talk about something that affects us all, and the newest report just came out today, and that is the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. And it's a big deal because it tells us how much more expensive life is getting. But we're also talking about tariffs in the middle of that, and what does this mean for you? So if you're, of that younger age trying to build wealth and pay bills or even just live comfortably, stay locked in to the Mac Global channel because we're about to break it all down. All right, first up, what even is the CPI report? The Consumer Price Index measures the average change in prices over time for stuff you actually buy. Groceries, gas, rent, even Netflix, the fast food run, all of that is included in the CPI report. Consumer Price Index. What are consumers paying for goods? And when it goes up, what does it mean? When it goes down, what does it mean? And how does it affect economy as a whole? When the CPI is up, it means inflation is hitting harder. When it cools down, your dollars stretch a little further. So it's as simple as that. The Consumer Price Index is a measuring tool against what we're paying for what we pay for. But it's deeper than just percentages. Let's talk about what's driving the price right now today. When it comes to tariffs are basically taxes on imported goods. When the government slaps tariffs on products from other countries, whether it's electronics, clothes, raw materials, companies normally pass those costs down to the consumer, you and I. And in reverse, whoever we taxing like that, back home, who they forced to tax us back, so that is going to make their consumers' prices go up, unless they handle their financial situation in a different way than the U.S. does. If you're, relatively young, inflation and tariffs hit differently. This is prime time for your major money moves, so these things, matter a little bit more than you might think. Whether you're trying to buy a home or start a family, stacking up on investments, we're going to check out some ways this all plays out. Number one, rent and housing. Higher material costs make home construction more expensive. Right now, labor is more expensive because of policies. We all know what's been happening border-wise, how it affects some of our workers here, a lot of our workforce, especially when it comes to rent and housing. So rent prices stay high even if mortgage rates drop, which they've been higher past year. So the overall price of homes might not drop. Groceries and essentials, we have eggs as the main identifier and example these days. Food inflation is very real, especially when tariffs hit imports like produce, packaged goods, all that good stuff. Your weekly grocery bill more than likely has gone up. Tech and lifestyle, if you're into gadgets, sneakers, anything that's imported, you're definitely going to feel that price go up. And the job market, higher costs for businesses could mean hiring slows down, which is why the jobs report is just as important as the Consumer Price Index report. Also, the PMI, the Purchasing Managers Report. It basically tells you that the whole financial world is dependent upon the working class person and what they choose to spend their money on. So higher costs for businesses, like we said, could mean that, less jobs are being created, which means, wages will either stay where they are or drop, depending on how the market pushes. If your paycheck isn't stretching like it used to, these are clear indicators why, and reasons why you should, even though it might sound like a bunch of gibberish, you should start paying attention to some of the money news. Because numbers don't have emotion attached to them. Numbers are reflective of what happens overall. So if you really want to get a good idea and insight on what's going on in this world outside of somebody telling you from a skewed and a biased standpoint what they perceive the information to be, and then they end up slipping in how they feel about it, which might sway your way of thinking, stick to the numbers if you're really trying to, achieve and win at this game called life. So we're not just here to tell you prices are going up. We can also develop a few key ways to move smarter. So number one, you can track your spending, know where your money's going, and cut out unnecessary costs. Unnecessary costs mainly start at, our vices and pleasures. Budgeting apps are your friend. So, there's app trackers out there that can tell you what has been automatically debited in a continuation, and, you can cut off some of that leakage right there. Negotiate salaries and side hustles is our number 2 option to battle what's going on money-wise. With costs rising, your income needs to keep up. Ask for raises, switch jobs strategically, or build additional income streams. For a lot of people, these aren't real options. However, for some people they are, so it needs to be factored into the playbook and the strategy that you're developing for this life. Number 3, invest smart. Assets like real estate, stocks, and even crypto can help outpace inflation over time. It is your duty, if you are concerned in what you will be growing and leaving, it's your duty to educate yourself about the financial market. It's a continuing education as with anything, but the time is going to pass. It just, it's up to you on how you choose to use it. So things like stocks that have, monitored conservative growth, maybe a low growth rate over time, but it's steady and consistent, almost infallible. ETFs, futures, where you're talking minerals, gold, silver, etc., and then down to the crypto game, which is a lot more volatile, but still can be utilized in a way to build wealth short term, mid-term, and over the long term. So these things, it might seem like I can't access it, but there should be a budgeting of something that you can't access, that you're setting aside for it to multiply itself without your input. And that's investments, whether it be real estate, whether it be some other form of creative investing that you see value in and that you believe the market is there for, and it's going to, turn. That's what beautiful minds are, things that are people are able to see that other people don't see as of yet. So find something. You don't necessarily have to do it the traditional way, but you would have to do it if you are in the mindset of overcoming what naturally is going to occur with or without our involvement, which is what the current state of the country and the world is today. And lastly, shop smart. Buy in bulk, take advantage of discounts, rethink spending habits on imported goods. You can think of the money flow. It all has a rhythm. It all has seasonality, like the natural seasons. It all has, ebbs and flows where you want to pick your spots. Maybe in the plush time, you save more. Maybe in the downtime, you can spend a little bit to keep up with the plush time way of life. However your strategy applies, but spending smart when it comes to whatever necessities and wants is key when you're doing it. And basically, you're running your life like a business at the end of the day. And you're learning more about the overall business of the country and of the world, of your city, of your county. There's levels, and each of the technical attributes apply to each level, but you'll have different variations at each level because everything's different. But at least you can see it from the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that there's stuff going on in the world that's always going to happen. The market is always going to go up and down. The currency is always going to fluctuate. This is a thing that is ongoing. So you got to find, you're not trying to swim against the stream, but you're trying to find your pocket inside of it to exist and to thrive and to flourish. So thank you for rocking with me. Once again, if you need any real estate analysis information, anything dealing with the Houston housing market, leave a comment. Feel free to follow me at Check Those Numbers on Instagram. Send a DM. I will respond, and we can get whatever you got in mind taken care of. Until the next time, it's your brother in business, King Rock. Peace.